Well, look who's back. New York Post columnist John Levine. John, it's good to see you again. Okay, John, it seems like MSNBC has yet to get the memo because MSNBC pundits repeat the White House debunked narrative of Hunter Biden. It predates the 2020 election, trying to say the Hunter Biden laptop story is, quote, conspiracy. We've got 14 FBI whistleblowers, and today CBS stepped up and said, yeah, the information on that laptop is real. What do you think of this kind of new line, not a new line, coming out of MSNBC?
I think we just have to accept that there's going to be a certain percentage of the population that can never, ever accept that this is a real story, that it's not Russian disinformation. There is a real laptop. There's real information on it. There's potentially criminal information on it. And as for CBS, I'm very glad that they have finally, gotten around to authenticating the laptop years after the fact. But it's really a little bit too little, too late. Where were these media organizations before the 2020 election when this kind of information could have really, been given to the American people and could have influenced their vote? It's after the fact is just not as relevant. So better late than never, but it's been disappointing to see.
Yeah, so now we've got CBS, the Washington Post, the New York Times, NBC, and CNN authenticating the laptop that the New York Post reported on, and it was censored before the 2020 election. But now MSNBC is trying to compare the House Republicans probing this to Benghazi.
No way. No way.
Why?
No way. And Benghazi was a completely legitimate investigation. But there is so much more here. We already know that Hunter Biden is under investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware. We already know that, one of the SARs even talks about potential human trafficking, and that's one. And there's of 150. That's the first thing that Congressman Comer has said his committee is going to pursue when they take the majority next year. So there's a lot more meat on these bones, and potentially we're talking about the President of the United States himself being compromised by what's on here, and it's a much larger story than Benghazi.
Yeah, I mean, the NBC has already reported that the Biden family made more than $11 million from 2013 under the Obama White House through 2018. Let's watch Democrats and news outlets on this. Then you're going to see Congressman James Comer. Watch this.
This thing, of trying to make this person, Hunter Biden, into some giant boogeyman in charge of a giant conspiracy to get all the money from all the foreign leaders and foreign companies, it just doesn't land.
This is a shop-worn approach by the Republicans in our committee, and it involves, some really extraordinary tools in the kit bag. Insinuation, slander, fabrication, disinformation, conspiracy-based theories that take you nowhere.
The vast majority of Americans couldn't pick Hunter Biden out of a lineup. They don't care about him. He's in a lot of ways, he's a tragic figure. I mean, this is someone who had dealing with addiction and was dealing with a lot of personal issues.
They honestly believe that Hunter Biden's just a drug addict that's had bad luck and the Republicans are picking on him. They don't know the extent to the influence peddling and national security risk that he poses.
Okay, we have 14 FBI whistleblowers reportedly coming forward. We've got 150 suspicious activity reports filed with the Treasury Department by U.S. banks. If Hunter Biden was such a tragic, so that doesn't sound like conspiracy. If it's conspiracy mongering. If Hunter Biden was such a tragic figure with a drug problem, why was the president letting him jet around on Air Force Two, doing deals with individuals linked to the Chinese and Russian Communist Party, right, all on taxpayers' money?
I honestly feel so bad for the viewers of those networks when I saw those clips, because they're just not being told the truth, and they're in sort of this Bermuda news triangle where they don't see what's happening, they're not told what's happening, and they're told, God forbid they turn the channel to Fox News, their head's going to explode. So they're being just denied the accurate information. And I think one of the things that Congressman Comer stressed in his press conference, a very powerful press conference, was this is not an investigation of Hunter Biden. This is really an investigation of Joe Biden and the extent to which Joe Biden is involved in his son's overseas business dealings, and does that involvement compromise his president of the United States? That's the brass tacks. So everything else, forget about it. That's what's important.
Biden has been in D.C. since the Nixon era. He was chair of Senate Foreign Relations. At one point, he was reportedly had a negative net worth. The Obama team said, we're going to keep you off the campaign trail. You don't got this, Obama said, reportedly, Politico report. You don't got this, Joe Biden. And then so behind the scenes, you can see psychologically he may be like, you know what? I'm just going to try to make money. We're seeing Nancy Pelosi, everybody else making money with multi-million-dollar homes. And what about me?
There's so much smoke. We've seen again and again Joe Biden meeting with business partners on the golf course, at dinners, in the White House. You know, if it walks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, it's probably a duck.